anyway, it's all good. Whatever you want to do. Okay.
How are you ladies doing?
Fabulous.
Well, that's good.
We can go test that drone.
When am I gonna test the drone? Don't know yet. I need to get hold of the pilot that we have right now and see when he can go out, when you can go out, when Brent can go out, and we'll have to swim.
Well, that's what I was saying, so there was one earlier, but this was in my phone in mine, and Joe and I had to play it, I was like, and then I had to call it, I was like, well, now it worked out.
Training has started.
Okay. Every year you lose a little bit of your flavor. So crazy about it. It's like, it's true. I was like, hey, don't even know. Carol's not coming back until 3.
Here's how this works. So all of these lines, you can see where health department and all of that. You can click on that and go directly to the place in the video, if it's like on your computer. Yeah, so that's how that works. Trying to show and tell.
I did that for you.
First time you ain't been the last one here, Todd.
Slipping.
Where'd you go? Huh? Where'd you go?
Came to the courthouse, so I
All right. You start with the panel. Go back off. Resume our budget hearings here this afternoon. First up, Assessor's office. Page 21 in your book, council.
Hello, ladies.
Good afternoon.
only changes that I requested were increases in salaries and, on the level certifications. With the new employees that we have, they're working on their levels, so there will be some increases there as we go. And I gave Michelle copies of the written job descriptions so that you all would have them to see what we actually do, and this still doesn't encompass everything that we do in the office. We do have a really good team, and we all work together very well.
Right, yeah. What percentage did you figure there on your,
It's up to like 10.
okay, so that is,
And it has been a challenging year with what the state did with the cost factors. It was nothing that we had any control over, so we've been through it this year.
gotcha.
Still going through it.
So part of that education, budget line, that is for the certifications probably too. as
Yes,
well.
and continuing that as well.
Gotcha. Anyone else have any questions on Sherry's budget there for the county assessor? Okay. If there is none, then you want to move over to page 22 of your book, council commissioners, on the reassessment side.
Again, the 10% on the salaries. And if you'll see down on the office the office supplies, did request an increase there because the prices are going up. Paper is one of the big things. Maintenance supplies as well. Mileage and lodging, they changed from summer and winter conferences. Last year, they began having our fall conference, summer conference in Portland, so a lot farther. And the winter conference for now is still being held in Indy. So the cost of fuel, it's become a larger expense. And the lodging. I think Peggy and I both have skipped a couple of the conferences to kind of, number one, keep caught up, and number two, to kind of keep the costs down. I did ask for an increase in the printing and advertising. The Form 11s, the printing went up just a tad, but it was the postage through our vendor. They have all of our typesetting. It was just a small increase on the printing part of it, but the postage is what killed us. So I did ask for $1,000 extra on that, which was a 6% increase. And Scott is driving the county car again, so I did ask for a little bit of an increase on the fuel. Hopefully we won't need it, but just in case. I do know that we most likely will need to have some repairs done to the car. the air conditioner works sometimes. As far as the contract for the trimming, I did speak with, Tyler. The bids for that contract is due to come up in 2026. The bids will start September. So I did add just a tab there to have a buffer. They were not prepared to give me an amount yet, and that was, there may not be that much, but that's just in case.
Why is that line item went up? I mean, it's went up 480% in 10 years.
We didn't have that type of software before. We didn't have that service prior.
It was on two separate lines before.
Yeah, it was 2 lines, I think, in the past.
Oh.
Very different.
This is the photo contract, right, where you're talking about where they go over and take pictures? No, that's not that one.
No. These are the folks that take care of our commercial properties. This is the, and I can, because you were there and they do our trending sales. And that is required by the state. And we do not have the manpower to do what they do.
The racial study. That's
Oh,
what
you're talking about for the assessed values?
Yes.
On the
Yes.
village
Yes.
properties, gotcha, okay. I thought they were tied in with the photography side of it, but they're
No.
not, okay.
No, that's completely separate.
But the contract and training were separate lines, and that's why the lines are there now, because of the decided to put them all.
So you said that contract comes up again in 26,
Yes, that the bids will start coming in.
but you really don't know right now
Right.
where you're gonna be. Okay.
And the new payment would not start until, I believe, September of next year.
Yeah, about this time next year. Anyone else have any questions for Sherry on
You
the,
make that payment twice a year,
No,
is it once a year or not?
we have it broke down into 2 monthly payments over a 4-year period.
any other questions for Sherry on the reassessment budget there? None? I guess you're done.
All right, thank you. for your
Thank you,
time.
ladies, appreciate it.
Have a great afternoon.
You too. right?
What's it right now? Is it $1?
Clerk's budget's on, starts on page 23. Yearbook. All right, whenever you're ready, Stephanie.
So some parts, if those who've been on the council for a while, might sound like a broken record. I am a big, as far as my employees' salary, benefits. I feel like as a department head, we are, to a certain point, we are in charge of the morale of our employees, but then beyond what I can do in the office, when it comes to benefits and salary, that's not necessarily, I can't, only add my personal funds to it. But, I had the privilege in 2019, when I was caucusing in July, I inherited, I had the gusto back then and was in all the way, but Clerk Association approached me to do the salary study, which that is for all 92 counties. That's everything from the salaries all the way down to their courts, what they pay their poll workers, all across the board. And that has been maintained each year by a different clerk. So the numbers I came up with for my salaries, those were brought to you by what I did. I took the spreadsheet that's provided by us, the Clerk Association, and first did by the census and then the amount of registered voters, compared how many courts they have, and make sure everything was all the way across the board was comparable as close as you can get. So I compared everything from Jasper, Wabash, Greene, Ripley, included Washington, Wells, Jennings, Decatur, Clay, and Posey, and then did the average mean of the salaries. So that's how I came up with the amount of the salaries for myself and my staff. I also compared the salary ordinances of our county in 2024 to 2025. And I did ask questions of council members. One department, and I'm not personally attacking or whatnot, but the auditor's office received between 18 and 16.5% salary increases between 2024 and 2025. And I could not get an explanation on how that was determined that to happen. When it was announced in the budget hearings, it was 8% for county employees. So I have always been promoting a salary study for the county. I know it's a cost up front, but to do a salary study and job descriptions for county employees and possibly a titration schedule for new entry-level employees. One word I heard last week at a meeting that President Shell said was retention. When I first started at the clerk's office, we had 3 paralegals on staff. I have none now. They can go work at a private firm someplace else. So my employees that do an excellent job are basically learn as they go. They do continuing education hours. Like myself, that is required now by elected officials. You have to have so many continuing education hours, and you have to upload that to Gateway. So we do have to attend conferences. But that's one thing that with the salary, I feel that that's something that really needs to be looked at. Because I feel like when y'all do raises that we appreciate, it's like a shot in the dark. We appreciate the raises, but but how are they determined? And based on, there's no job descriptions. So in the last couple of years, as far as on the clerk side, when Judge Houchin came into office, we took over the bond, process, and we went to cash only, and we went to an email system. So the judges look at the probable causes when they come in and determine the bonds. It's all done by email. We maintain lockdown. I have a bond kiosk. Anything under 10,000 is paid on my kiosk that is inside the clerk's office outside dispatch. Any bonds that are over that 10,000 and above are paid to me in cash, like the other cash is paid to kiosk during business hours. So I get that bond money, it's always in my hand within that 24-hour period. So it works out great for the departments that's involved in that process. Postage, we did cut that back. We do more of an email process. And jury letters, we cut that down from 600 letters to 400 letters. So then that way, the postage is on the commissioner's budget. So that is to cut those costs, because now we're looking at, what, 74 cents? So that's costly. Our caseloads on the clerk side, this far as of today, we have 2,127 cases. That's new cases. That does not include all the other cases that are still in pending period that we still maintain all the court correspondence that goes into those cases. Average calls on the clerk side of my office, and these reports were provided by Bill. We have 5,388 average calls on the clerk side on non-election years. You might as well double that on election years. So I'm hoping most of you know what my office does on the clerk side. Some of you have actually came in and shadowed for the day to see what we do over there. Basically, we're the beginning, middle, and end of court cases. And we, of course, work hand in hand with the judges and their staff. So that's on the salary. That's to explain a little bit of why I put those numbers in there.
So I have a question.
Mhm.
So on those, just to kind of just rough math real quick, so you're looking at, depending on the job, 20 to 21 to 22% raise.
Yeah, to get us up to where they need to be. And I will forward you the spreadsheet. And it has, on the first page, it has the clerk's salary and of course all their information all the way out to co-workers and their stipends. And then on the bottom, it has where you toggle through each county. Because we're averaging $10,000 difference alone just on the clerk's salary. That doesn't include their staff. And so when I came into office, back then the council was doing a department at a time, doing raises. So I inherited a 2-week-old budget and took a crash course on it, and literally got with the staff and seen what we can do to cut budgets, because the prior clerk would not fill those positions once they were vacant. So I did take, they had done that for quite some time, and so I did take a salary, a line item, and dispersed it out to give them the raise, to get them up to the court level, comparable to the court level pay, and then that didn't happen, so that money just was absorbed into that. So I have only added one position back since then. I have never asked, since I took office, for any additional appropriations. That includes going through a pandemic election, through COVID and all that, so I never have asked for additional appropriation, just added a records position back in. So I feel like I have managed my budget very well. I'm not one that, wants to toot my own horn, but I feel like I have greatly done that. So the only thing else I've increased is the mileage in lodging, and that is for the continuing education hours, and I see that they have increased the amount as far as how much they charge for the registration, and of course the rooms have went up a little bit. Everything else on the clerk side I've kept the same. I feel like things can be managed with my 4D fund and my clerk's preparation fund. Is there any questions on the clerk side?
So you said that your salary,
Stuff that you have is, for this,
The forms that you've got or the salary study that you have shows that your position should be closer to like $10,000 more than what we're currently paying? Is that what I'm
Yes.
understanding? Yours and all of the staff, or just yours?
yes, and those numbers can be provided. It's Clerks Association, Julie Brush, a fellow clerk, she was in charge of it this year. You basically gather all the information from the clerks and you compile it into the spreadsheet, and then the Clerks Association then sends that out to all 92 of us. And so I have the spreadsheet, I can forward it out to all of you all. And then I'll also put on there the ones where I sorted, where their census matches and their amount of registered voters, and then all the way across the court system and how many employees they have. Those are the counties I listed off are the ones that are comparable to us as far as how many employees they have, how many courts they have, their amount of co-workers, and how much they pay their, it goes all the way out. It's detailed to everything.
Well, I appreciate you not showing, like, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but like on yours, it shows $50,523. That's only $5,000 increase.
Well,
So,
I understand that.
I didn't know if that was a misprint or if you were,
I was being realistic.
okay.
Basically, I'm not.
Like, I appreciate that, so.
Yeah.
But, okay.
And this is all base pay, and then of course their stipends. I mean, the state has come down with the general election where they make you, give a stipend. So that's just the base pay. So I'm just trying, when we take our last term, which I'm currently in my last term, you're wanting to leave the office better than what you found it. But I also want to leave it where you're gonna have, if I'm election administrator, I want the ballot to be competitive. When you have job openings and I was asked by a council member one time to put the amount on the job posting, you get nobody to apply for it. You put the posting out there, I have people making $60,000 plus for the job. It comes down to, you're not gonna have any function of government if you do not have employees to run it, and quality employees. I mean, my employees, one mess up of myself or my employees, that's a case decision. If correspondence doesn't get in there in a timely manner, that's a case. They know that it's a give and take. I have had bosses that have been held to work for, where you're sick to go to work. So my girls know that in my office, they know what's expected of them, but they also know that I'm there for them if their child is sick, if their spouse is sick, whatever they have going on. I have seen the morale. I can only be a cheerleader so much. When it comes to benefits and when it comes to their pay, they might be going seeing Brad. And that's, the county would be losing valuable employees, and that's why I say retention. I'm not saying throw money at them, but what I'm saying is we got to show that we're all here for them.
that was my only question. I just wanted to make sure that wasn't a misprint or anything, so.
No, I'm trying to be realistic
Okay.
in how things have ran in the past. I can't come out and say, hey, these counties right here, can you match what, because again, I don't know what their financial state is on these counties. I don't know what they have coming in without really giving a detail on, how much taxes they have coming in, how much, what makes up their pocketbook. I don't know. And as all of you are sitting here, you know that our positions, it's a 24/7 job. There is no time off. And, you know, we put our necks out there a lot. So, I mean, but we all have to work together to figure out what's best.
Okay, any other questions for Stephanie on that particular budget? Okay,
Okay, so moving on to elections.
yep,
Um,
page 24.
Okay, so on the elections, I have kept going down except for salary. I've kept everything, the same except the system, software and upgrades, that goes up 4% every year. So I included that 4% in there. And at that, we're at the mercy of the state, basically, on that. So I added that 4% increase. Everything else stays the same. I've also put a notation on there. Of course, we'll have a general election next year, so that stipend has to return back in the line item. On our elections, we currently, as of midnight last night, we have 19,300 registered voters. We've kept our poll workers the same at 67. We had combined those during COVID, and then we were allowed to keep those. We've seen that it worked out better on those merged polling locations to keep the poll workers down. We currently have 13 polling physical locations. We have 20 precincts, and that does include central count, which is in my office. To give you some quick numbers that come through the office there. So in 2020 general election, we had 5,231 absentee ballots. Of those, we had 3,581 people that came through the office as walk-ins.
How much was that again?
We had 3,581 walk-ins, and that was during COVID. In 2024, we had 4,647 total. So that kind of gives you the numbers, how we came through, and luckily, since 2020, we've not had to, of course, be in PPE gear and clean everything once voters come through. So that kind of gives you some numbers out there. I haven't asked for any increases in the food or the poll worker pay, and we are down on that as far as across, if you compare those 10 counties, including ourselves, on how much we pay our poll workers. I keep thinking that they are going to pull through for a stipend. Secretary of State's office had mentioned that last time, that they would do a matching stipend. I'm hoping that will take place eventually to recruit poll workers, because it is getting harder. You know, seems like one generation will say, well, how much do we get paid? And, you know, I keep saying we feed you 3 meals. So, but with we're good on our voting equipment. We did take the grant from the state in 2021. We had recycled, I call them recycled taxpaying dollars of $223,000 come through. We also accepted the e-poll books for $75,000. And then I have written grants every time they are given by the Secretary of State's office. So we received $10,000, it's $9,963 from the Secretary of State's office this last go around. And that helped with iPads and items to help us with our absentee mail. So, because it's just myself and another deputy that is actually on the election side, but we do pull in our clerk employees as well to help with that. So I feel like I'm doing the best I can to keep everything flowing. You know, with COVID and of course with elections, I'm at the mercy of the state. whatever they say that, you know, comes down, we gotta abide by, but most of the time the funding doesn't come with it. So does anybody have any questions on the election side?
I'd just like to state that I appreciate the fact that you're swinging for your employees. So,
Well, I mean, how they gonna respect me if I don't respect them enough to go continue to fight?
it's a two-way street, most definitely.
Yeah, so I'm not always the popular one. Sometimes it's like high school again, but, oh well, that's been 30 years ago.
I miss high school.
So yeah, so I will continue to look for ways to save money. But again, when it comes to my employees, you know, I'll fight to the death for them.
All right, any other questions for Stephanie on the election board budget?
2026 is gonna be a good one. It's already started.
Yeah. All right, if there is none, then thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephanie.
All right, moving on. Emergency management. It's on page 25.
I had sent out an email asking to change my proposal. The only reason I wanted to change the proposal was because I found out about Jackson County having to raise their EMA director's salary almost $20,000 to hire one after the last one left. But this is an explanation of the math. On the very bottom of the sheet that you were given about what I was requesting for a raise. I was looking at it as a whole, which I should not have been. I don't know what I was thinking that day. But I can't think of it as a whole, I have to think of it as a part because it's part of my salary level. So basically, what I'm asking to do is to add $2,884 to the EMA line item and calculate my salary different. Currently, for some reason, it's 53-ish% and 47-ish%. My time.
Hang on just a second, our recording keeps kicking in and out here. Let us get that back online. I'm sorry. Technology, you
Oh,
know.
absolutely. But the funny thing about technology is if something happened to it, there's only a few of us left around
Oh, yeah.
who can function without it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you know that it's harder than it looks.
Good point.
for lunch, Todd?
Some kind of pork taco or something. Not agreeing with me too well either. What about you?
Chicken and pickle sandwich and case.
Chicken
They're good, yeah.
Chicken and pickle.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry, Danny.
Take
That's
two.
all right.
And action. All right. Back
You're
live.
on. Okay, so currently it's figured up, or at least I did the calculations, about 53-ish and 47-ish. If we figure it more, that 60% of my salary comes from EMA and 40% comes from the sheriff's department. Actually, this year it's more like 64 and 36, only because we've had 4 major disasters this year to take up my time. And FEMA has been here, so I've had to be with them. And unfortunately, I can't tell you definitively because I haven't gotten the word, but when FEMA was here, we went through everything, and there should be $63,000 deposited back in the general fund from a FEMA, from the floods. Anyways, that's why my time is a little off this year, but it's close to 60-40 that I spend the time. This will get you more reimbursement from the state grant. The total wages would be $50,000 and $50,079.98, which would put me in the middle. Scott County, as you see, is one of the lowest at $39,000. I just found out today it is now $50,000 because they just replaced their director who had to retire for medical reasons. Anyways, that would change the EMA director line to $30,000. So that's how I figured that out, is that would be 60% of my salary. That would be accomplished by moving the money from assistant EMA director line. Currently it's $5,000. I don't have an assistant EMA director. I don't want to get rid of that line item because maybe in the future somebody who takes over for me will want to have an assistant. Right now, I do all the work myself, so I'm doing both jobs. The line item for EMA 911 dispatcher would be reduced to $20,000, doing that at the 40%, and that currently he's paying $22,000 for my salary, and that'll save him $2,163. The proposal that I'm giving you would give you an adjusted reimbursement from the state of $15,024. The current reimbursement you get from the state right now is $12,500 because in the EMA's line item is $25,000. And that's, Washington County has been approved for up to $35,000. That would be nice to get $70,000 a year. I know that's not going to happen, but anyways, that money is there. It's not like it hasn't been appropriated. It has been appropriated for Washington County. So that's how I figured out the 50% of the salary under EMA would be $15,000. So it would be in 2027 that you would get that money because it's always a year behind. So you would make an additional $2,524 if you follow this proposal. Not only would I be compensated for doing both jobs, actually the EMA director and assistant EMA director, as well as doing the 911 job. The increase, if you see on the back of the page I passed out, it would cost you absolutely nothing. All I'm asking is for a line item move. That stuff has already been appropriated, and that would be comparable to the other EMA directors in the area. If you decide to do countywide wage increases, that would be for my 911 side, whatever comes from the 911 Sheriff's Department side, for all the stuff I do from them, that would apply to that, but not to what I'm asking for, because that would be the raise I'm asking for EMA. And like Stephanie was saying, this is not a 40-hour-a-week job. I'm on call. I'm unfortunately on call for both departments. So I go out for chemical spills, major fires, weather events, obviously, and then I do damage assessments, which takes a lot of time because you have to, depending on each structure, follow what FEMA tells you to do. And the bad part about it is if I put my 40 hours in, I can't average. I talked to Kyra, and we can't average the 2 weeks. So if I have worked my 40 hours and then somebody calls off on the midnight shift at the Sheriff's Department, I'm working 12 hours and I'm not getting forward. and I almost always work the midnight shift. As a matter of fact, we're so short shifted there, and as soon as I leave here, I'm going to take radio. Does anybody have any questions about my math? I just hate when you get numbers thrown at you and you don't know where they came from or, you know, how they came about. That's where they came about. I will still continue to write the grant for Sheriff's Department and of course for myself. I am looking for other grants for other departments that have asked me since I do grants. I have brought in, including the FEMA, $269,000 to the county for my grant writing.
And what kind of time period?
2020 to 2025.
I appreciate you looking into the grants.
Mhm.
That becomes that takes a little bit of stress off of us as a council when it comes to trying to fund new
And we can get
equipment, tools.
I got the drone,
Yeah.
the thermal drone, which is very important to every department, every emergency department, because they can use it for different things. And we got the grant for that, so that is getting.
That would have been helpful several years back when we had people stuck on the Knoxton Trail.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that would be beneficial because it is thermal, so it'll be able to locate people on the outside.
Any other questions for Andy on her budget there?
I have a question. So you're basically wanting to eliminate the line item for assistant EMA?
Not trying to eliminate it, sir. I want to move money from it. I don't want to eliminate it because in the future, the new EMA director might want to have an assistant. This job might become full-time.
So,
It should be, but
but you want to zero it out but leave the line item?
no, sir. I want to move $2,224 or $2,884 from it to the EMA director.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't want to zero it out.
How many dispatchers do you have now?
9. We normally should have 12.
You're 3 down? Wow.
So the 2 supervisors, this is Kelly's case we're talking about, the 2 supervisors are not supervising, they are actually filling chairs because we're out. We have one that's out on medical and then we have an opening. So then anytime there's an open shift, Kelly and I take it. And Kelly is working the shift right now, but he has something he has to do, so I'm gonna go relieve him.
So what other shifts are they working?
It depends on the day. Some days are 8-hour shifts, some days are 12-hour shift, weekends are 12 hours.
12.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's a really odd schedule.
I'm sorry?
So
It's a
weekends-
really odd schedule.
Very odd, yes. You have to know your schedule and being a floater, and they call me and I don't know because I can't follow that. Because it changes every week as to who's working when.
So generally, weekdays are 8 hours and weekends are 12?
For dispatch?
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
No?
That's
Um,
odd.
Fridays are 12, Friday, Saturday, Sunday's 12.
Okay.
And then every other Wednesday, is it 12? It's something like that, because I know from the different shifts I've worked. But I haven't been assigned to a shift for years.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Page 25, there were no changes on page 26 to
Correct.
the
What we
emergency
did
plan.
is override.
All right. If there's no further questions for Denny,
One question,
wait a minute.
is all your equipment up to date?
What equipment? For EMA or for 911?
911,
That's all Kelly, you have to ask Kelly.
it is.
Kelly's the one who's in charge of anything 911, I do the EMA.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Soil and water, Mr. Fordyce. And friends. And friends.
Well, I'm sure here, everyone knows me, so I'm gonna introduce everybody else.
Yes, would you please?
To my right is Scott Luttrell, and Kelsey Gillfinger, and then Rhonda Johnson. They're also supervisors along with Aaron Walker, which Aaron couldn't get away today, he's out spraying, so.
Gotcha.
I'll,
How you been?
I'm all right. How are you?
All right.
Good.
Seen John the other day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm gonna be pretty brief here, so. I'm certainly not gonna read this to you, but if everybody would turn over to the first one, I would like to share that one thing we always like to promote, that for every dollar we bring into the county, we leverage up to $22.82, so we're pretty proud of that fact. And then next, for our budget, what we're asking for is for Nevada's manager salary and for Cora Brown's technician salary. And then we did ask for a little bit more for our operating expense because, as everybody knows, everything goes up. And so then one other quick one, toward the end of the packet, we've got a new thing coming. It's starting here in 26 as we go forward. I would say due to the, as well as we have done it compared with our peers in the state, that we had been approached through the Indiana Association. There's a place in Wisconsin called the Wallace Center that's doing cost share money that their rules is not quite as stringent as the NRCS, and we felt like it was a good fit. That some people doesn't qualify for normal NRCS programs. Some people will qualify, but due to less regulations, as an example, the NRCS through their programs will not cost share on perimeter fencing of your farm or whatever. Through this Wallace Center, they are open to doing that. And so with them approaching us and we're seeing the benefits of them, we have working out a partnership that to begin with is starts at what, 50,000 or 20,000?
Well, our pilot program, which is currently ongoing, is 10,000.
Okay.
And then our next year, it will be 100,000 cost share.
And so we're pretty proud of that fact. And so with that, I'll certainly open up. Anybody got any questions? Certainly try to answer them. And
So this new relationship with this Wallace Center grant that's a sure thing?
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. We're just starting through the pilot program part of it now, but they've already reached back and they've seen the enthusiasm we're sharing with them, and so they're certainly on board to make it go farther. And
Good, thank you.
it'll be a long-lasting thing, we think. One thing that's not in this packet, it's kind of disappointing to us, that used to, from the state, they would rank us, and that's not happening anymore, so,
I was just gonna ask you.
yeah. And so that's kind of disappointing, but we still feel like we're doing well. or in the upper echelon of them, but, the ladies in office do a wonderful job with all of this. And our association with the NRCS, and so it's continuing on. And, one thing with this Wallace grant too, that, we have technical assistance, and we've been very fortunate that, Kevin Chastain, who's retired from the NRCS now, that lives here in the county, and he said he would, was willing to come and help us, and so that really makes it nice. And anyway, that's about the long and short of it. Anybody else got any other questions? I'll happy to answer.
Any other questions for Chris or any of his friends want to speak? You only got 4 friends?
That's it. Well, Aaron, if he could have been.
Well, yeah, but he couldn't have been here.
That's right, yeah.
He couldn't come.
That's right, yeah.
No, great job. We appreciate what you guys do for the county. It's a big help. Truly is. No other questions? Okay, there is none. Thank you all.
Thanks everybody for the time.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
appreciate it. Thank you
all.
guys
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Your next one is on page 34,
Yeah, skip.
and it is the line item, it says PAC program, but it needs to be RBR alliances. For some reason, it's not saving.
Page 34 in your book. You can come forward, ladies and gentlemen.
We can get you, there's
I will
another
find a
right
chair.
there. Yeah, just wheel it around there.
And Dan is here representing Blue River Services. That is on page 60.
Blue River and RVR.
Yeah, both.
Yeah, you got both.
So the first one we're gonna talk about is
34.
page 34, the 15,000.
All right.
15,000. Hi, I'm Heather. I'm the Director of Victim Services for RBR Alliance now. We've always come under CAPT prior, but we've merged with them, and it's been a really good benefit for all of us. And we're asking again for our 15,000, which does help with offset some of the stuff for running the shelter as far as providing services, and then also just general operations. Plus, 3 of our grants require a local community match. So your in-kind donation of the building and the $15,000 does help us meet our match goals for all of our grants. So we're very thankful for that. We served about 74 residents at the shelter location over the year, with over 3,000 bed nights on the year. So what we've noticed is that sometimes our numbers look a little lower, but people are staying longer because it's so hard to find permanent housing right now. So we've been having people housed for sometimes up to 6 months. So it cuts down on the number you serve, but you're serving them for a longer period of time. So, and then we do our outreach out of the back of the shelter building, and we've helped 68 people with safety planning and protective orders from that office. And then we take almost 700 crisis calls annually at that location. So those are just a few numbers for you. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
I'd like to just mention that RBR has been involved with victim services for a little over a year, about a year and a quarter or so. But, thank you to Washington County for all the support that you've given over the years to the program. One of the things that I've been a little bit surprised about is the numbers that need the services that are provided by victim services. And when the folks in Valparaiso were cutting them loose, it didn't take a whole lot of thought to think, yes, this mission needs to continue locally. And it didn't take a lot of thought to know we wanted to bring them into RBR.
Any questions on the PAC program? None? Okay.
So on page 60.
Page 60, yeah.
It's the very top line item that says intellectual disability.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Tammy Seitz, and I'm the CFO of Blue River Services. And I'm just gonna touch a little bit on our core services, which those are the ones that we consider the services that we have provided for many, many years in the community. So first, we have a residential program, which we have 2 residential homes that we operate out of, actually downtown Salem. And those homes house 14 individuals, so 7 in each location. The exciting news about this is that we have received a grant to be able to build a new home, which in the state of Indiana, you can no longer receive additional licenses. So what that means is we are gonna take one of our homes, which is on Nichols Avenue, and we've had that home for many, many years. We're gonna take individuals from there, and we're gonna move them to this new residence, which, the property always have the worst times, you know, but it's over by the jail over in that area. There was a big lot there that we ended up purchasing, and we're gonna be able to put the home there. What is just phenomenal about this home is it's gonna be one of the state-of-the-art homes that we have. Each individual room will have its own bathroom, huge community area, and just, you know, it is gonna be 100 times what we have now. And so the gentlemen are really excited about that, and so being able to get that grant to be able to do that has been just phenomenal. We're really excited about that, as they are as well. The other services that we provide in the county, of course, are our shelter workshop, which is over in the industrial park area. One thing I would like to highlight about that, we serve 40 individuals out of that facility. But what we do is we get contract work, so it comes into the facility, and we have individuals with all different abilities able to do some kind of piece rate and get paid for it. One of the contracts we've had over this past year is from Huntsman, which is a solar panel company out in Colorado. So we have made this connection with them. They're shipping the parts to us. We're assembling these solar panels. And we have 2 individuals that are autistic and blind that have not been able to work on jobs before. We have been able to make, they're called jigs, just different adaptive devices so that they are able to do some portion of that work. And it has been such a meaningful job to these individuals. So that's, you know, bringing also Colorado into this county where otherwise it may not have been. So that's really exciting for us. And then we have our other services, which are habilitation type of services that we operate out of the Washington Center, which is over off Reed Avenue. And also our structured family caregiving, which is kind of like an adult foster care. We have 10 individuals in this county that we serve. So I think the one thing that really prides the core services, so many too of the staff in these different locations are from Washington County. So being able to not only have these services in the county, but then to be able to employ individuals from the county to do that has been a great benefit, I think. So that's the core service.
Yeah, what Tammy was talking about here, as she mentioned, these are historical services we provided in the county for many, many years, serving people with disabilities. But there are other things that we do also that we'd like to bring you up to speed on when we come and see you. For example, we are in several of the schools in the county, actually on site doing after-school programming. And we served 148 Washington County kids at their schools this year. We have the First Steps System Point of Entry, and that's kids that have a developmental need or are at risk. And we served 113 kids and their families that have those delays. We have a evaluation team that goes out and also decides if someone is eligible for ongoing First Step services. Now, we're not the long-term provider. We are the system point of entry and the evaluation team. We served 86 with our evaluation therapists. Healthy families, we did 26 families home visitation. That's a voluntary program for families that have risk factors, not of disabilities, but with family risk factors. But they volunteer to be part of the program. We send staff in to help them with whatever is needed in the home, to be better parents, to, you know, manage things better, whatever. But there were 26 families last year. The WIC program, Women, Infant, Children Nutrition Program, 1,319 Washington County families this past year. Transportation, you're probably familiar with Southern Indiana Transit. That's part of Blue River. We did 1,406 one-way trips to and from day services for a lot of the people Tammy's talking about in the core programs, and 4,568 one-way trips for the general public. Now, of course, you know that anybody can call up and need a ride, call our dispatcher, and we'll give them a ride. Somebody's car breaks down, it's not income-based, it's not disability or aging. Anybody can call for a ride. Housing, we have Jill's House, which is actually part of, we've had a partnership with Heather and when they were packed, where we are essentially the landlord and they are the service provider at Jill's House. And we served 16 families at Jill's House. Then there are other housing projects in the county. We have Grandview Manor South. We serve 28 at Grandview Manor South. And and 30 at Grandview Manor North. I don't know if everybody knows where those are, but one's a 25 unit, one's a 24 unit apartment complex across the street from each other, essentially. And also we served 14 at Jackson Court. And Jackson Court, that building was at one time a child care center. We operated it for many, many years. Unfortunately, we're not able to continue. So we converted the child care center into several apartment units and also built some duplexes on the property. So, you know, served 14 last year. And also, something Tammy was mentioning, staff. We employed 108 Washington County residents last year doing this variety of services for the county. I'd be glad to answer any questions. We've been coming to see you all for a long time. We appreciate your ongoing support. Oh, and something I left off here, Jim Johnson is a board member for Blue River Services, and so is Claude and Jeannie Combs. I'm sure many of you know those three. And also Tom Paris is vice chair of RBR Alliance. And just RBR Alliance, of course, it's an alliance between Blue River and ROUC. And then RBR is separate, provides a lot of the administrative tasks for Blue River and RBR to try to stretch the dollars farther.
I just want to say thank you for what you guys do. I know it's a great service that a lot of our county residents have been able to take advantage of, so thank you for that. We appreciate that.
How many years you been at this, Daniel?
41.
41, okay.
That's my 42nd time coming to talk to you.
Okay. Well, we
I've
appreciate
been
it.
with them 30 years.
Oh,
So
my God.
we've got a lot of, yeah.
You're gonna tell your age here in a minute.
You were with PAC for, yeah, I was gonna say forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think what I can say is, you know, I reside in Harrison County, but Washington County has always been so welcoming to us, and just always, you know, whether it's through Special Olympics or whatever it may be, you do so well as coming together as a community and just really supporting, you know, the different groups within the county, and we certainly appreciate that. So thank you for that.
We appreciate all
How
you
many
do.
will
Yeah,
your
sure,
new
what you
housing
do.
hold that you guys are building
It's limited to 7.
to 7?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
it's,
limited by the license, and, the state is no longer issuing license for group homes. Their preference is for people to be in apartments and things of that nature rather than a group home, so, our individuals love it, we've had some of them that have been there with us.
I actually had the pleasure of meeting about 8 or 10 of them
Mhm.
a few months back, and they were the sweetest people. And they talked a lot about their jobs that they had, and they were so excited about them.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was
and like the new
heartwarming
job,
to
yeah,
listen
the
to
new
them.
job that we got with Huntsman, with the solar panels, you know, they're considered, you know, material handlers. And so having that, you know, recognition for the job that they're doing, they're very, very proud of that.
Oh, they were so proud. It was the sweetest thing to see.
Great, thank you for sharing that.
And one of the things we're able to do is have our departments work together on different projects. For example, this new group home is a combination of Tammy's core services and our housing department. And they're working together to get this done. Now, the group home, current Nichols home, we started in 1986. And it was actually a duplex that we converted into a group home, so it's been there for a while. It was time for something new, but now we're gonna have to get something extra special for the guys. And another example is Heather in Victim Services, because, you know, our housing department worked with Victim Services for many, many years before Victim Services came on board with us. So we're able to have those joint projects.
Great work.
Sounds like you're making good progress. Yeah.
Hope
We
so.
think so, yeah, we
Thank you.
think so.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. I think it says break. It does. All right, so we have next on the scheduled break from 2:45 to 3 o'clock. So we will come back in at 3 o'clock.
And
Make sure you're in here.
Stream will continue.
Streaming will stay live. So behave. So behave yourself. Back at 3.
My mobile scanner, just scanning it while I'm here. Well, I mean, it has to be digital, you just throw it up there, you know, yeah, I know.
I'm not bored. We can folks that they service and come out as a group and they shop at Walmart. So it doesn't matter how bad of a day you're having. You spend 5 minutes and you go, why should I ever say I'm having a bad day ever?
They
Just
are the
joy.
sweetest. They're so
Just
happy
filled with
all
joy,
the time.
and they can't help but make you feel better.
Well, Bill, of them ran out, didn't they?
I think Todd was going to get his glasses, he said. We're done at 4, right?
Yeah, I'd say
You ain't got to leave now?
No, my sister's gonna go pick her up, so I don't have to. I just go.
I'll make it back, Brad.
These donut holes, I blame Phil.
I had a donut hole stuck to the Long John, and I just considered it one whole donut.
At that point, it is one. That is one unit.
Yes,
It's a donut with an accessory.
Yeah, well, a modified donut,
Well, yeah.
but still a single donut.
Jared said he'd be back at 3 or 3:30. I think. Was that you that said it? I think you said 3. I think that's what I said, but now I'm not sure. Maybe now the slot is that you're not bad for me. How you doing?
I'm doing good, how about you?
Not too bad.
Finally got some cool weather. Cooler.
We were there, side.
She does clap.
Who was it? Somebody was telling me, oh, Johnson? They got almost 2 inches. No, it's lazy, but it's all over the- almost 2 inches of rain yesterday. And some places, this is really funny. We got about a half an inch at home in Martinsburg. Yeah, it's been nuts. Anything new going on in the cemeteries? Any issues? And you know, people normally have a really long lawn that's manicured and painted, it's out of control. Unbelievable. But I'm so glad it's nice and nice yesterday.
No, I'm ready for it to tame the heat down a little and stay there.
I know.
It's been rough. It's been a rough year.
Your ski pharmacy looks good there, building dominoes. Is
Yeah.
that gonna take any place to learn the strip mall?
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
A lot of people wanted to drive through.
Yeah.
Like convenience.
It's the way things today, Rebecca, you know, she's been trying to buy hers. And she said, well, you always ask her,
That's the thing that that's the how we do free delivery.
yeah.
But it makes it hard to do that for free.
I don't see how they do it, actually, especially if people live out.
Try to blend it so like
Yeah, yeah,
you know like people can't really do that.
yeah. Maybe they just slow down a little bit, or seems a way to slow down a bit.
So
Sure, you know, some reason, it's a factor in it.
I've noticed stuff starting to slow down a little bit, but it's just on out of grass.
So then that tax thing you sent last night,
It's repair,
people
treatment.
and talk to you, the picking one.
Yeah, a few of them, that I reached out to did. I still gotta work with one on another one, it was like a tornado. That was like really big.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was. But nobody wants to talk about it on there. I don't, cause it's so little, I don't think I can see the. So, temple on. One million, or whatever that was. So, what was it? And he got paid, you know. Hmm. What time we supposed to be back? 3?
in, okay, so Wednesdays, he goes in with Ian, our oldest, right? And so he may or may not have been able to take VTO because he has to wait for Ian to get off work. But he's the VTO master. He's like a ninja for VTO, which is voluntary time off. So they don't dock you any pay, they just don't pay you. You get to go home early. So, he may have been irritated. Or he may have gone ahead and skipped out and come back for it. I don't know. Amazon. Yeah, both Ian and Max work at Amazon. Emily is working at Home Depot, and that's Ian's wife, and then Noah works over at Walmart in the deli. All employed, except me. Score.
Well, you keep on the good fight.
Well, I'm just an irritating figure anyway. I can't see landing my personality in anybody's business. You know, Amazon was barely big enough to handle me. That was my only job in my whole life, 7 years at Amazon, and that was it. I tried to explain that to people, but yeah, and I got into trouble there too.
Well, I can see that.
Well, I mean, they're not as clever as they think they are. So how's your business doing?
Flea market.
Yeah, how's it? Because it's slowed down everywhere, which is fine, because it's so hot.
The flea market slowed down, and usually this time of year, everybody goes to the auctions, it's kind of bad.
Mhm.
But it's really, it ain't even that bad.
Well-
That's only on Friday.
Right. So I mean, it's people are still trying to stay with their regular funding.
Yeah.
Um,
The flea market, it had to drop some. That's usual this time of year.
Oh, yeah. I find that if I try to advertise or try to make more work or whatever, the business gets fleets. You get like a lot of returns, you get angry people, and you try to convince them to buy your thing. You know, I have my own, like, customers that come back to me on a regular basis, or they really seek me out, and then that's who I like to sell to. Because if I sell something, I have to go out and make it.
That requires work.
And that requires work. And in this heat, it's been horrible. I'm having an allergic reaction to something that's in the air.
I like Bubba.
Oh, no. Bubba's walking heaven. He's awesome.
That's right, I'm a good
Come up
bargain.
here and hang out all day.
No, that will not happen. Because I am not a slice of heaven.
Yes, you are.
Ah,
Don't cut yourself short.
oh, well, I just wanted to protect people from my personality.
What's your next, gonna make it run for another office?
Oh, I'm already signed up as, for Secretary of State.
Oh, okay.
As an independent, so this time, I won't actually lose. I won't be on the ballot, but I am signed up to run for office. And so that's really what I'm looking for, is a little bit extra protection so that I can run my mouth. Right?
Well, honesty is a good virtue of yours.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. I'm tired of losing. You know, even today on Facebook, somebody said, you want to run for mayor, which I'm in the wrong place, but I've been running for 20 years. And it's not really to win office, because ew, but to go ahead and bring this out. And so, see if we can't make it better. Right now, there are so many things going on underneath that, and people are so angry, and no way to fix it in a normal manner. And like with the surveyor's office, where people lose property. One woman was dividing up her property into 3 sections, like 48 acres. And found out after she had it surveyed, she only had 36 acres. Yeah, it just kind of evaporated. Well, you know, for 48 would have been better. And that's what she thought she owned. But see, we're having a lot of that happen in our county. And a lot of people are coming up short on what they think they own. And so, if somebody thinks that they're the only ones that that's happened to, as long as they don't think that they're alone and other people are dealing with it, maybe there won't be anybody just, explode. You see what I'm saying? But that's what's going on underneath and other things that I don't even see. So, with this live streaming and trying to get everybody to go ahead and just be transparent and come forward with it, and, like the documents in the, well, for instance, payroll and whatever that you sign off on. No one sees that here in the audience. No one sees that online. You just say, I approve, and then you sign it, and then the money's spent. No one really sees that in conjunction or in relation to the meeting itself. That's what's happening with Salem. Salem is, okay, so with the water thing, right? Because that's a big thing right now. Salem doesn't show what they've spent on it. They don't show any, willingly present the facts in a way that people can look at it and mull over it and wallow around with it. They're just saying, you've got to believe this. Well, no one believes them. No one believes them.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Hardly.
No one believes you because you haven't presented the facts. You haven't presented, you go through a budget and you don't show people the budget. When you sign off on stuff that you're spending.
That's not like
Well, I feel sorry for you because you do have a big bundle to deal with. I understand.
Economic growth will be on page 63. There's 2 line items.
I guess that taco's still working on top.
All right, it's close to 3 o'clock. Economic development, 2 line items there on page 63. Mayor?
Ashley?
And Ashley, welcome.
Good afternoon, gang.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes. There may be a third. Our board president, Mark McKinney, was in Indianapolis today, so he is on the road. If his travels can get here in the next 5 minutes, he may join us. Otherwise,
Thank you.
please, it'll just be the 2 of us today. going around the horn, let me make a formal introduction to those that don't know. Ashley Conrad has joined us, and she is now our executive director. Ashley has been in the chair now, and going full speed, going 100. And so in that, we have kept the pace, if you will, in economic development as far as the county and the city, including new people in county workers, of course. So Ashley wants to take the lead here, as she should. Please, Ashley, I will turn it over to you to discuss our high points.
So if you guys would like to follow along, I printed off just some kind of bullet points here about the Economic Growth Partnership. Just to give you a little overview, so the Washington County Economic Growth Partnership is a nonprofit organization founded in 1992 to work with local partners in government, business, and education to improve, expand, and attract new businesses to the community. The mission of the Economic Growth Partnership is to increase job opportunities through business expansion and recruitment efforts to promote economic growth and improve quality of the life of the citizens of Washington County. Washington County's economic development strategy is broken down into 3 major focuses: business retention and expansion, business attraction and marketing. In addition, the Economic Growth Partnership is focused on community development to improve quality of place. So first, we'll start with operations. So our daily business activities required to effectively and efficiently run the Washington County Economic Growth Partnership. This includes wages, benefits, payroll taxes, business insurance, administrative fees, telephone, copy machine, printer, office supplies, and other business expenses. And then also, the Economic Growth Partnership is a member of our Southern Indiana RDA, Radius Indiana, South Central Indiana Economic Development, and Greater Louisville Incorporated Economic Development. All of these memberships help to aid in business attraction to our community. These memberships afford us the opportunity to meet and network with site selectors and to market Washington County as a potential, afford us the opportunity to meet and network with site selectors and to market Washington County as a potential community for new business development. These memberships allow us to be a part of regional marketing efforts such as sponsorships and conferences. And then also, Radius Indiana sought funding for Hessel Park to help with site improvements to the retention pond, and will look to further possibilities for the town of Campbellsburg and RIP, which is Regional Impact Fund, as potential funding sources. And they also reach out regarding grants. And then for business attraction, the J.F. Hessel Commerce Park, located here in Salem, is a certified Indiana shovel-ready site, zoned I-1 with utilities on site. The Commerce Park is a valuable resource to the community and a valuable economic development asset to the areas of both business retention and business attraction. Infrastructure development is ongoing support to the growth of the park. We also actively participate in site selector property searches through the IEDC, GLI, Radius Indiana, and South Central Economic Development, responding to requests for information when our available properties meet criteria for the site selector. So this year, so that you know with these site selectors, this year we've had 52 sites come through. We've been able to submit 3 proposals, but at this time we have not received any further correspondence on these submissions. And 27 out of the 52, they were looking for an existing shell building. And then for business retention and expansion, small and medium-sized businesses represent a significant opportunity for Washington County. The Economic Growth Partnership is here to support local businesses through tax abatement assistance, project assistance, the Small Business Development Loan Program, and acting as a conduit to local, regional, federal, and state agencies. local businesses can contact the Economic Growth Partnership regarding needs or challenges they face so they can work together towards progress and sustainability. Annual abatement compliance, we've helped 7 local businesses and 3 utility providers. We have 1 new tax abatement request, small business support, support of local small businesses to look for gap funding, gaps, and other economic support. Provide wage data to employers, research funding, opportunities, lunch and learns, and more. And every year, the Economic Growth Partnership visits face-to-face with our major employers, which are Kimball, MPP, GKN, Peerless Gear, Jeans Extrusion, as well as small businesses to learn more about what is working well, what could be working better, future expansion plans, and opportunities for the Economic Growth Partnership to assist our businesses to achieve their goals. So just a couple that I want to tell you about. The Economic Growth Partnership was able to provide funding for a local lumber mill, Hoskins Lumber Company, who is in the process of repairing electrical work to get business up and running. And also Cornerstone Facilities, we were able to help secure money for them through RIP, which is the Regional Impact Fund, to support building improvements. And as a result, a new company will be utilizing the building for a new manufacturing operation. And also with marketing assistance, the Economic Growth Partnership provides marketing assistance for available buildings and land throughout the county. We list available spaces for the Economic Growth Ship website, the Indiana Economic Development Corporation website, and regional marketing websites. And then for quality of place, the Economic Growth Partnership is focused on quality of place, whether through efforts related to the Monon South Trail or working with developers to bring housing options to the community. The Economic Growth Partnership is committed to fostering a vibrant Washington County. Such initiatives include support of the YMCA's Child Care Expansion Project, the Make My Move, which is a relocation assistance, trade skill and educational development, and housing project support. And then recently, the Economic Growth Partnership welcomed an individual through the Make My Move program. They chose to relocate to Washington County. And then through this program, the Economic Growth Partnership, in collaboration with Radius Indiana, was able to provide funding assistance to help the couple with their relocation to Washington County.
And that particular move created 2 income streams. The spouse, we understand now, has taken a job at one of the schools. So not only is it a remote worker type of employment on the first side, the other one gained employment as well. So we gained 2, if you will, out of that incentive package. And so that's ongoing. That incentive has been posted to several of our marketing materials and media partners, and so any of those folks looking to migrate this way in South Central Indiana do have an opportunity, and it shows Washington County being a supporter and a partner of that program. So I do think we may have 2 or 3 more move in just for this program in itself. So to recap some things, the board has gave Ashley certainly a very good narrative to share with you, and just want to echo there's a lot of attention and action afoot. There's still a lot of activity going on. As she indicated, the state leads, that's the biggest interest for me as we're looking to invest and grow and promote our community. There is still a lot of attention focused on Indiana. And so those leads certainly can be site-specific throughout the state. Some of them will come through and be labeled a statewide. Some will be county-focused. And so we do certainly look at those individually and grade them to her point. Some of them we don't make the criteria. Of late, it is interest what some of those requirements are. Some of them have got height capacity. Some of them have got air traffic regards that they need more than regional airport, they need an international airport, and so those are things that we can't get close enough to. And so there's some things that take us off those lists pretty quick, but otherwise, we are certainly still in those competitive searches. Again, Ashley touched on the fact that we've got some new business startups that have happened this year, and hey, that's a win for everybody. Goodness, when we look at our revenue streams in government, local income tax is a big part of what we look at, and certainly you guys know that, you ladies and gentlemen know that. And so when we have jobs coming in, that's a check mark, and you know, those jobs can certainly spur a lot of things, whether it's school enrollment, whether it's a dollar spent at our local retailers. You know, there's an ancillary gain everywhere you have when you create those jobs. And so, albeit we know they're not 500 or 1,000 jobs on one whack, there's still progress, and very happy to see that. And she's got a major press release getting to happen on the latter one. It's a nice little addition to our community, and a very well-respected company. So she will have that forthcoming. So the board has said, hey, please represent us. There's 9 of us. Mr. Shell, certainly. Thank you, council, for sending Preston, and of course Todd from Commissioners. So thank you, guys. And so, you know, we do have a mission that we are trying to better all the county efforts, and I will say the town of Pekin's well represented, and we do have good contact with Campbellsburg. So things are afoot, things are moving. Certainly, if you see the last page, I think it was in your packet, the budget section of numbers, certainly we're looking at our operations and what it costs and what we do as far as the marketing arm on your behalf. And so we do, as a board request, make a small adjustment to 95. Certainly, board and council, however you see fit to process that and divvy it up. We do show the prior commitment of 70, and that's very appreciative. We'd never think twice of that, but like most of us, we have an additional funding gap ourselves, and so that is the will of the board. If you so entertain, we're asking for a small modification. Otherwise, our expenses have remained fairly level going forward, but we all know there's some things that have cost a few dollars more. Insurance, overhead, such as that does add up. So please, I digress. Is there anything I can answer on behalf of the board, or please, Ashley, as director?
I've got a question. Their paper says 70,000, but I show that we adopted 40 last year.
There was a 30.
There's two different lines.
There's 2 lines.
There's 2 lines.
32,070 and 32,071.
Okay.
It's split. Remember that one year you all split it out?
Yeah.
We did split it. But you're requesting 95.
But you would like 25,000 more, correct?
Okay. If I can ask, what's the city of Salem done? On
City
their-
of Salem, the next one down, that is increased from 30 to 35, and that comes out of the Urban Enterprise Zone collection of fees. So the UEZ was established a number of years by the city council and has been intact ever since. And so those member businesses have the opportunity to work with their tax accountant and pay a discounted rate on their income tax, state, not federal, state income tax. And part of that UEZ participation, then they pay the organization, which is housed within the city of Salem, that percent of savings. And so those dollars, the UEZ has dedicated to promote our city of Salem marketing, along with Washington County and the county council and the county commissioners. And so through other funds, the economic development income tax, as you well know, edit, the city does participate then. If the director comes to us and says, well, hey, we need some additional dollars, if you see fit within the city boundaries, you know, can you support some extra infrastructure? Can you support some extra cost? So it's not reflective merely of this 35,000. That is just a commitment from the Urban Enterprise Zone that funds the growth partnership on the city side.
Okay. Any other questions for Ashley or Mayor Green?
What was your membership like last year in 25 versus what you're budgeting 26.
Pardon me, I don't have that, Ms. Wishmeyer. I would say it's level. I won't say that we jumped leaps and bounds in additional memberships. Ashley, tell me, I think we were hovering around 75. Pardon, I don't have that in front of me. And to your question, certainly the nice thing is we haven't had much ebb and flow. Our participation has stayed fairly level with our member businesses.
All right. Any other questions? If there is none, then thank you all. Appreciate what you do.
Very good presentation. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard, Ashley.
Yeah.
All right, moving right along, got a little behind schedule for once. Let's see here, Cemetery, 3T. It's on page 28, Council and Commissioners in your book, page 28. Good afternoon.
Hi.
How are you?
Hello.
Yourself?
Good.
I'm Lisa Fleming. I'm a board member of the Cemetery Commission along with 4 other volunteer folks. We have one contractor who does a tremendous job, Andrew Davison, who's here among us. And I wanted to present very quickly to you all our 2026 budget request. Myself and 4 other board members, I want to call them out: David Johnson, our president; Raymond Lee, our vice president; Aaron Woodward Sparkman, and Carrie Chastain, and myself meet about 3 or 4 times a year to try to conduct business and support Andrew as he tackles over 200 cemeteries in the county and does just a fabulous job. We're asking for a very small increase in just one of our 4 line items. It is our first line item, 11404, our contract mowing. It's just a modest $2,000 increase in that number, and everything else remains flat. So our total budget request for 2026 is at $55,831. Now, I'm happy to take any questions if anyone has any.
We like these numbers. You won't have many questions.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to make up a little time for you all since you got behind on the last one.
Any questions for Lisa on the line items there in the cemetery budget? I will say, feel like that's a great job, and I know there's a lot of, as Andrew can attest, there's a lot of cemeteries in this county. A lot of them, sometimes I've lived here all my life, and every once in a while you run into a new one, that you didn't know was there. So it's a big undertaking, and we appreciate what you do.
Well, thank you. We appreciate what you all do, and thank you so much for your consideration of our budget request.
Thanks, Lisa.
You're welcome.
All right. EMS, Mike, Tony. You're next on the agenda. Page 29 and 30.
We was looking over some things before we came down. We had a couple of miscalculations that we wanted to bring to light. We got a couple of things I was wanting to go over. In this first budget, we did the ones that probably you guys have when we filled out the figures. We tried to add in there for another employee. I would like to get what we call a floater position, or a person that could float in between shifts and cover for shifts and sick time and vacation time and that kind of thing. It could be either or level, it could be either a paramedic level, which would probably be the better of the option, or it could be the EMT level. As in the paramedic level is going to cost a little more. It would be, so I can find my figure here. If we were able to hire another medic, you're looking at about a total cost of roughly about $93,739. With the salary being $73,237, and you got your perk, your insurance, your FICA, and everything on top of that. So we come up to about $93,739. On an EMT, you'd be looking at a salary of roughly about $56,752, and by the time you add the perf and the insurance and the FICA and everything in there, you'd be looking at a total cost roughly around 74, 91. When Mike was working on the one figure, we had a miscalculation under that, and I will let him. He can probably explain that a little bit better than what I can.
Under line item, account number 12400, overtime, vacation, and comp time. That number Tony just went over on the overhead cost. For some reason, I went over the numbers 3 times. I don't know if I was distracted or if I just had a major brain fart, but there's $16,162. The insurance, the perf, and the overtime was not put in that figure, so we're adding that back into it. So that number should be on that line item, $217,662.
One more time, Mike.
What's that?
One more time.
It should be $217,662. With that floater position, that brings your total on the full budget to $1,965,264.
Say it again, $1,965,264.
And that was totally my mistake. I was looking at it this morning, it was like something's not, I missed there, and then I went back, and I just didn't add all my stuff together. Like I said, I've checked them 3 times, either got distracted or just had a brain fart, couldn't add that day or something. Just missed it, but that's exactly what missing was. It was the overtime, which was $8,947, holiday pay and vacation pay. That's it. I just flat out missed it. My bad.
We also had included in there a 4% raise for all employees as well into that figure. We also had to raise some of our line items that I'll go over with you real quick. Our ABS billing fee, we can probably fine tweak that a little bit. That was actually figured at 7%. They actually charge 5.75, but we also have to pay a 2.9% credit card fee if they take payments by credit card. Our collections have been up. Our billing has been up. Back in 2024, we brought in a total of $1.2,049,825.70. Like I said, our monthly totals in 2024, we only had 3 months where the monthly totals was in the high 80s. The rest of them were in the 90s and the plus $100,000 range. So that is up. So far this year, our total has been $740,037.14.
Through when?
That was through August or July. I'm sorry, July. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was through July.
And what was the number?
So far for this year, $740,037.14.
Okay, thank you.
Does that include the county portion?
Do I?
No.
No, there's not.
No.
That's what we,
No, that's just what we
that's our
brought in.
receipts coming in.
Okay.
That's our receipts that we got from the billing company and our events and everything that we done.
That's basically to the 1st of August.
End of July, yes,
End
first
of
of all,
July.
August 7/31. Which puts us right around more, making close to more this year than we did last year. Which is less stipend than last year.
But like I said, the biggest expenses by far would be the added of the employee, which we desperately need. I mean, it's getting harder and harder and harder to find people, to come in, our PRN pool, you know, it's just a different world out there now. And, if we had somebody that was full-time, that could work at different type of schedule, it would really help us out a great deal. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a medic, we could get by with an EMT, but I would prefer a medic, but, we could get by with an EMT if we had to.
I guess I got a question. So if you're wanting to add someone, how come your overtime and comp is gonna go up so considerably? I mean, you would think that would come down dramatically if you're adding another person.
If you're at it,
Technically,
that's quick.
okay.
We have to man 2 trucks. We have to have 4 employees there all the time. You have somebody calls in, you still have to man those hours. I mean, it's a very delicate, our payroll's a very delicate thing. These line items will fluctuate from week to week, day to day, year to year. Last year we started off the budget for 4 paramedics, 3 supervisor paramedics. We ended up with 3, actually it was most of the year, we had 2 full-time paramedics and 3 supervisors. We had to staff back up and do whatever we could get. So you still have 39,040 hours a year you have to cover, regardless of how that works out. The EMS pool for our part-time, they have full-time jobs. If they don't wanna work, we have to get our full-timers to do it. And vice versa. You still have hours you have to cover. We can't just shut down a truck and say, sorry, we ain't got an ambulance today. We can't come. We'll get there when we get there. We have to man these trucks. So it's hours we have to man. It's not like, oh, we got a county backhoe operator not off today. Well, we got this guy over here, he can do it. We have to have somebody come in and fill that spot. It's not a ifs or nots, it's hours we have to fill. So it's hours that has to be worked. And there is built in overtime. If you hire more people, we've got numbers, I can go back and show you numbers. If you hire more people to fill in positions and get rid of the overtime, it's gonna cost you more money in your overhead, the FICA, the insurance, all that stuff. It costs more money to have more people, and then you're gonna lose people, because most people want a 24-hour shift to get a little bit of time. And the job pool market out there, there's just not people out there to work.
We work a 24/48 schedule, and a 2-week pay period. The way it comes around, you will have a 4-shift pay, you'll have a 5-shift, a 5-shift, and a 4-shift. In that 5-shift pay period, in the small pay period, the 4-shift, you get 16 hours. In that bigger pay period, you get 40. So that's the difference there. And it's just the way everything marches out.
Everybody averages 56 hours a week.
It's something we can't avoid. I mean, it's just, you just can't. I mean, not working this schedule, we can't avoid that. And like I said, if we went to like a 12-hour shift or something, we'd have to hire double the staff we've got. And what are you gaining? You're actually probably gonna lose. So, but,
Hope that answers your question a little bit.
It does some. Yeah, you would still think there would be some savings at some point.
We'll give you an idea.
When you're running a deficit of about $700,000, I mean, I'd be looking to try and save somewhere.
Now, this year, we're probably looking at right around $300,000 as a stipend, somewhere in that neighborhood. Just to give you an idea, a paramedic, if the whole year they work their standard schedule, they'll make $8,947 in overtime. That's the extra they're gonna make. You're looking at, just the overtime number.
Can I say
You're looking
something
at about
real quick?
$60,000 a year in overtime.
to help clarify, I think part of what they probably wanna say is just about every ambulance service around here works the 24/48. So when you have a PRN, odds are they're coming from another department. So they might have a PRN person that works here at Washington County full-time, but works PRN in Jackson County or, you know, Harrison County or someplace like that. So for them to switch their scheduling could potentially be lowering their pool because all the other counties around us do 24/48 too, which makes it easier for them to pull from other counties to get part-time people. So there's really no way to avoid the overtime. Am I putting that correctly, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. It's just we have, our payroll is a very delicate situation, it really is. It's something you have to work with, but we deal with it every day.
But, with that being said, if we can't get the additional person, then we're looking at a budget increase over last year of about $82,424. And, that's basically, that is with a 4% raise for the employees. And then that's also where we've had to raise some of the line items. We kept a lot of our line items the same as what we did last year. We kept several of them the same. We've had to increase our medical supply budget, which is the line item 2,300. We had to knock that back. We had to knock that up about another $3,750. Boundtree people have called me and said that their prices are going up because of the tariffs. She said we would probably see roughly maybe about a 10% increase in the cost over a year, could be a little more. So we wanna make sure, I mean, that stuff goes up, seems like once a month. I mean, it's been hectic the last year, as much as that stuff goes up. And you guys would be quite surprised on what we pay for a lot of stuff. Little things that people don't think much of, but it costs a fortune. Like I said, the ABS billing fee there, I think we can tweak that a little bit. We can probably get that down a little. It went from 75 to 84, but I think, like I said, that's up by about $9,000. But I redone some figuring there, and I think we can maybe get by right around that $80,000 mark. Because it's been running, the last bill that I paid them was $6,033.24. Previous bill was $57.74. And then the previous after that one was $58.23. And for the total year for ABS, we have paid, let me get on my papers here. As of July on ABS, we paid them $40,120 so far for July. And of course, that wasn't including the August bill I just paid, so, which was another $6,000. So we've got about $34,000 left in that for the rest of the year. So like I said, and like I said, the more we collect, the more they charge, the more we have to pay. So I just wanna make sure that, you know, we've got, like I said, we can tweak that a little bit. I think we can knock that down some.
We're right on target for the budget this year. Looks like we may be $2,000 under this year's budget on the ABS bill.
Mike, what's that 48.5 based on, under maintenance, is that still counting the engine?
That's just general maintenance, cover everything, whatever happens, tires, brakes.
At one time, we was covered for an extra engine in case we had to.
Yes.
That's still figured one.
Yeah, that was way back when Ben was still on the board.
Right.
Yes, that was when we was buying the gasoline engines. He said we could replace an engine 5 times versus the diesel, but yes, that is exactly right. That's why that number is there. And of course, now we've left that number really not changed a lot over the years, because the engines has actually been doing better, knock on wood.
So, I have a question for you guys. On your supplies, you mentioned that the tariffs are gonna take it up probably 10%. The jury's only 5%. So do you need to be accounting for more, or have you been historically pulling it from other areas to cover it and still maintaining budget at the end of the year?
Historically, we've been hitting it, we beat up our suppliers so bad we make them give it to us cheaper. And we've been hitting target on our budget, but we're hoping it is.
Okay.
I think we can maintain, don't see the tariffs. I mean, I know they've been telling me that, they've been telling me that, but we've been getting price increases, and there has been price increases. It's just not what they originally anticipated, but we'll see as time goes.
Okay.
Because we're gonna be on that line item, we should be, we should be technically right around $6,000 under budget projected if we, with the next bill we had on some stuff,
Okay.
so.
You still have 48,470 in Onyx.
Yes, well, we got some big bills coming out this year, for this month. Some stuff that we had to replace that's in that line item, some of our medical supplies, it's high dollar stuff we have to replace from time to time. That's some bills Tony's got probably on his desk right now, I'd say.
And then that medical equipment maintenance, thing, is that what you're referring to, Gerald? Are you referring?
No, I was just talking about the Onyx unspent balance under the medical supplies. That's what,
Okay.
yeah. And he answered it, I mean.
Oh, you said 48, and I see 42, what I'm
So
saying.
he's going back to the, he's probably got this in front.
Okay. But, and then the only other increases we had was we had to increase the, collections line item, which is 30904. If you look at the draft I've got from about 2017 on, it's kind of fluctuated quite a bit. Last year it was $3,000, increased that by about another $3,000 this year. Reason being, I had a situation that occurred that, I didn't know it, but if they take a collection to legal, they charge 50%. I've called around, and that's about the norm for about any of them. So that means if they take a bill that's $2,000 to legal, they're gonna charge us $1,000 for collecting it. So, and usually over the last couple of years, I've really kept that really in check, because their collections are kinda down to me. I talked to the billing company, and the billing company has a couple of other collection agencies that she said we could probably check into if we wanted to change that. That I haven't really had a chance to talk to any other agencies yet, but the only reason, like I said, we're on that collections, I'm looking, let me see here. Yeah, we've got $1,200 left in there as of the 1st of August. And it was only budgeted at $3,000. So if we take another hit of a 50% thing, that line item's gonna be about empty. So if they proceed, like I said, with any more legals for the rest of the year, we're gonna be running a little short on that end of it. So we thought maybe we'd just go ahead and maybe increase that, and hopefully that'll take care of that problem.
Okay. All right, so is there any other questions? If not, we need to move for sake of time. If we need you guys back, we may holler back at you tomorrow. Probably be tomorrow afternoon sometime. If we need other clarifications on anything.
Unless we get ahead in the morning.
Unless we get ahead, yeah, there could be a possibility in the morning. It just depends. We've been running pretty well on time, but we're a little behind at this point, so. Thank you, guys. We'll see what we can do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Brent, are you here for the jail bond, court bond? No? 31 and 32.
Yeah, the jail bond,
Did we die? Come on, there.
the jail bond, court bond, that's our debt service
Oh,
payments.
okay.
Jail bond's 820,500. Court bond is 410,000. Law enforcement continuing education. That's where the $3 out of every ticket goes, and then the departments can claim that. We did up it. Seemed like this year we got hit pretty hard and had to do an additional because the departments were not claiming the money. So then they've decided to claim it now. So some of them, we've got a year to a year and a half bill that came in. Riverboat wage share, that is, the commissioner, so unless any figures need to be changed in there, I'll let them speak on that on page 34. Or do you all have any questions?
Is that on, 32005? Is that what you're talking about? Animal shelter? No, that's.
Oh, no, I just said page
7303.
Page 34. Page 34.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
page.
The whole page, yeah.
Yes. Actually, it's been the
Just didn't
same.
know, I seen that increase there on the animal shelter, so.
It's been the same the last couple of years.
Last couple of years. Pretty much.
Yeah, originally part of it was being paid out of the edit funds and part of it out of this Riverboat wage share.
Right.
Just for cleaner bookkeeping, we just moved it all to this one. So them are pretty easy ones.
Yeah, no changes. That helps. Got a few minutes here if anybody has any questions or comments over what we've been through today in our budget hearing.
And I will tell our newer ones, Thursday afternoon, we reserve for callbacks, so if there was a department that you all want to come back in, we can set up a time for them to come back in. or copies or anything that needs, that anybody wants, that they can pick up. I tried to give you everything, but
Michelle, could you guys look at that, that percentage break on the paving, non-paving, 75-25 on the edit? I think it's in there like it was 2 years ago, 85-15%. Remember we
yeah, I remember, I could have swore we,
voted to, council voted to make that 25-75 back to 24, I think. But I didn't want to spring that on you at the last minute because we have to make copies at the last minute.
Anybody recall what the stipend was for EMT last year? How's that, you know, that's the amount they come up short with the last couple of years. Anybody recall that?
You know about with the stipend?
Yeah, the stipend.
They went, what, about, Kyra, I can't remember, wasn't it about like 160,000 in the whole last year? Over and above the 650,000,
I'm just trying to refresh my
I
memory.
think. But we're gonna try to keep the stipend amount the same. It was 700 the year before. It was 700 in 24, it was 850 in 23, so we've got it down. You know, they are making a little more income. So this year it's 650, and we're gonna put in for another 650 for 26. The problem is their income is going up, they're getting more runs, but these darn price increases are killing us on everything. It's just, you know, you dig yourself out of a hole, and then somebody comes along and takes the money away from you.
Yeah, that's listed on page 59 under the commissioner's budget. Towards the bottom of the page, it's account 35400 ambulance service.
Yeah.
Started back in 17. 325 all the way up until 21, and was increased to 425 in 22, 850 in 23, and then we backed off in 24, as Todd mentioned, to 700, and last year and this year down to 650, So hopefully,
And they're running real close right now of
Yeah.
staying within the 600,000 to 650.
God, I can't farm, Brad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and wouldn't bring your son back in after you're running a $650,000 deficit, you wanna bring another one in.
Get you a bigger truck.
anything else anyone wants to discuss here before we recess until tomorrow morning at 9?
We have to leave already?
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Kinda like the song. Well, I guess you can. If not, then we will recess until in the morning, August 21st, 2025. We'll see you at 9 a.m.
I don't know, I've been trying to think, where could I go that I could have this much fun?
Thank you for everything.
I don't know. And it's only once a year, I really look forward to it. It's kinda like the county fair, you know?
Yeah. We just don't finish right, can we?
No, we got
Here's
donuts,
back up.
sweets, fruit.
I've got